I just ranked every single map in the One Piece Bounty Rush meta. As you all know, every single map has specific advantages and disadvantages for each class in the game, and I will be ranking these maps based on these criteria. So stick around if you want to find out. Let's go. For the first entry that I have in S class, I have the Baratie stage. The Baratie stage is very vanilla for the One Piece Bounty Rush community, and I ranked it an S for runners, an S for attackers, and a beautiful S for defenders, for an overall rank of S. Next up, we have the Onigashima stage as the second entry in the S class. I gave this map an S for runners, an S for attackers, and an S for defenders, because of its easily maneuverable nature as a map. My third entry in S class is actually the beautiful Marijoa map. I gave this an S for runners, an S for attackers, and an A class for defenders. It has a lot of obstacles, so defenders couldn't get a high mark with this, so I give it an overall rank of S. After that, I have the legendary Impel Down map. I'll give it an S for runners, an S for attackers, and an A for defenders. Defenders have the same issue of not being able to get to their opponents in time here, but it's not horrible, so they still get an A for an overall rank of S. Next up is our kickoff for the A class. For the starting of the A class, I have the Water 7 map. It is a beautiful map for runners, giving it an S class, a mediocre map for attackers, giving it an A class, and an A class map for defenders as well, because of the nature of how annoying it is to chase down runners. Runners get the best advantages out of this map. The second entry of the A class is actually Logetown. Logetown gets a B for runners. It's not very great for runners at all. It gets an S for attackers and a beautiful S for defenders, for an overall A. Next up, we got the Marineford map. This is a pretty flat map with decent obstacles around, but I'll give this an A for runners, an S for attackers, and an A for defenders, for an overall rank of A. Nobody gets massive disadvantages from this map, but attackers have a slight edge. Next up in the A class, I actually have the Egghead map. The Egghead map gives an S class for runners because of how easy it is to get around, an S class map for attackers, and a B class map for defenders. Only teleporting defenders can really benefit from this map, and that gives it an overall rank of A. Next up is Sabao the Evening. Sabao the Evening gets an S class for runners, an A class map for attackers, and a D class map for defenders. Defenders do not have many benefits on this map because of how hard it is to get around, with the exception of teleporting defenders as usual. That gives it an overall rank of A. The next entry in A class is actually the Dressrosa map. This gets an overall rank of B for runners. Runners have a very massive disadvantage on this map. It's an S class map for attackers and an A class map for defenders. While runners do have a disadvantage, it's not horrible, but they're easier to catch here. So that gives it an overall rank of A. Next up in the A class, I actually have the Orlong Park. Orlong Park is a C class map for runners because it's incredibly easy to catch runners on here, and an S class map for attackers and an S class map for defenders, giving it an overall rank of A. Next up, I actually have the Labo Phase map. This is an A class map for runners, an A class map for attackers, and a B class map for defenders. Defenders have to climb up hills and stuff to actually guard their home flags or the enemy home flags, so they have to capture flags wisely, but everybody else has a decent advantage on the map. Next up on the A class, we actually have the Ruins of Shandora. It's an A class map for runners, an S class map for attackers, and an A class map for defenders. There are no massive disadvantages on this map, and the others only got A's because there's obstacles that constantly block the way. This gives it an overall rank of A. Next up, we actually have Land of Wano Night. Land of Wano Night gets an A for runners, an S for attackers, and a B for defenders. Due to how spaced out the flags are, It's rather tedious for defenders to actually guard more than 2 flags, which makes it kind of a pain for them. Attackers have great advantages on this map though, as it gives them a lot of time to chase down people, and runners have a sweet time as well. That gives it an overall rank of A. Next up, we actually have the 1000 Sunny. It's an S-class map for runners, an A-class map for attackers, and a B-class map for defenders. Defenders once again have a massive disadvantages because of how spaced out the flags are, but nobody else has massive disadvantages on the map. It's pretty nice. That gives it an overall rank of A. After that, I actually have the Alabaster Day map. This gets a B class for runners. Runners actually have a hard time on this map, an S class map for attackers, and an S class map for defenders. It is incredibly easy for defenders and attackers to get around and get rid of runners and keep the enemy team in check, and that gives it an overall rank of a beautiful A. Next up, I actually have the Bharati A Night map. This gets an S for runners, an A for attackers, and an A for defenders. Runners have a slight advantage because of all the platforms that they have access to, but everybody else can actually use the map perfectly normally, but no massive advantages, so they both get A's for an overall rank of A. And bringing it close to the A class, I actually have the Colosseum as the final entry. It's a C class map for runners because they have nowhere to hide and no massive obstacles to actually protect them from the enemy, or anything that blocks out the map to even help them with hiding from the minimap. So it gets a C for them. It's an S class for attackers and an A class for defenders. Attackers get big buffs from this map, and defenders are just great, but nothing too special on it, giving it an overall rank of A. Kicking off the B class, I actually have the beautiful Sexy Foxy stage. It's a B class for runners, an A class for attackers, and a D class for defenders. Defenders, the flags are so spaced out that they have to have teleporting skills to even benefit from this map. This map is probably going to be very hard for the new Juro, but it's still a beautiful map regardless. So defenders, very bad on it. Attackers have a decent advantage, but runners also have a slight disadvantage as well because of how spaced out the flags are. But it's not a bad map, but it could have been better, giving it an overall rank of B. Next up in the B class, I actually have the Thriller Bark stage, or Thriller Park, whatever you want to call it. It's an S class map for runners, a B class map for attackers, and a C class map for defenders. Runners are the only role that really get massive advantages from this, but attackers can actually take care of the top or bottom level, whichever level they decide to stay on, making it get an overall rank of B. After that, I actually have the Fishman Island stage. It's an A class map for runners, an A class map for attackers, and a C class map for defenders. Everybody has decent advantages on this map. However, attackers have the highest advantage though, and the defenders have a hard time getting around to guard certain flags, giving it an overall rank of B. You need teleporting skills with defenders to actually benefit from this. Oh, by the way, any map that you actually see me rank, B, C, or D, is probably going to be very bad for Juro because of his traits, so keep that in mind. Next up that I actually have in the B class is the Sabaody Day map. This gets an S for runners, a B for attackers, and a D for defenders. This map is rather strange when it comes to being beneficial for attackers and defenders, but it's an elite map for runners. Defenders are not really advised on this map, so just use one and have it guard the top flag and go down every now and then to actually take care of the home flags. That unfortunately gets it an overall rank of B. Next up, I have the Pirate Island or Beehive map. This should be coming to League soon, so I decided to put it in here. It gets an A for runners, a B for attackers, and a C for defenders. Defenders and attackers have a hard time on this map unless they decide to guard their home flags, mainly because of the big old hand that comes dropping on your head every 10 seconds. But runners have a big advantage, but not too big because of the hand once more. This gives this map an overall rank of B. Now, as we close into the end of the video, I'm actually transitioning into C class. Kicking off C class, I actually have the infamous Alabaster Night stage. This is a D class map for runners and a D class map for defenders, but an A class map for attackers. The sandstorm seriously destroyed this map. It makes it very bad. This map I would have easily put at F class if I could. It's disgusting. Do not play on this map if it's around. Very vile. Not recommended. F tier. Actually C tier, but you get what I'm saying. Horrible. Next up in the C class, I actually have the beautiful but disgusting Drum Island stage. It's an S class runner map and a C class attacker map, and also a D class for defenders. The map is set up in such a way with so many obstacles and so many heightened places that it's not very beneficial for attackers and defenders because they typically fall off the map 24/7s, but runners get great advantages from it, giving it an overall rank of C. But that's all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all learned something. Remember, each map gives each class significant advantages. So keep those in mind whenever you play maps and know how your playstyle is going to have to be. But that's it. Peace out. God bless you all.